Good day. Got a returning guitar in today. Not returned because there's a problem with it. It's returning because it wants some more work on it. And it's a brand new Gibson SG. This, can't remember what model it is. Just says Gibson SG on it. Belongs to J-Meg, guitarist of King of Pigs. I've known him quite a while. Been bringing all his guitars to me last year and a half or so. And I did a setup on this, which I was really happy with. Absolutely brilliant. Blah 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 blah. You see it's slightly in bits. There's a reason for it being slightly in bits. He's swapping this pickup out. He doesn't like these pickups. That's a 57 Classic pickup in there. Now, I know he plays through a PV 6505 plus amp, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be getting the sound he wants. But these are a PAF type pickup, pattern applied for pickup, oldie style, more vintage. I would suggest either, if you're not going to change the pickup, if you're going to keep pickup, you want a better sound out of it, stick an overdrive in front of your amp. And if you drive down, use it as a clean boost. It will really clean that, really give that pickup, it'll make the guitar sound totally different. It'll be absolutely brilliant for metal. But no, he doesn't want that. He wants what most guitarists go for. And I've got one of these pickups in my guitar myself. And what he's doing is he wants this swapping out the Seymour Duncan Invader. And why wouldn't you? If you're playing brutal metal, this is the pickup you want, isn't it? Now, I've got it somewhere, but I'll put it down. I'm going to try and find what I've done with it. Can't see what I've done with it. Okay, we'll crack on without it. Oh, it's here. Seymour Duncan Invader. You think, well, fair enough, we'll just swap the pickup over. And that's what I thought. Now, we know, for instance, that wiring on a Seymour Duncan is configured differently to the wiring on a Gibson pickup, which we all know that. They all have the same colour wires. You have a red and a white. You have a green and a bare and a black. So you've got red, white, green, black, bare. And a Gibson pickup is exactly the same colour wiring, but each colour wire doesn't do the same thing. Why they do that, I don't know. You go online, go look up, pick up wiring colour codes. They'll all have the same 5 coloured wires or same 4 coloured wires in a bare, but each wire will be different. It's like, I know for instance, the white and the red one on a Seymour Duncan, it's the end of one coil and the beginning of another. So if you want to split the coils, right, you wire them individually, and if you don't want them split, you just wire these two together, and it makes 2 coils into one coil. Wires it all up in series. So you go from the start of one coil, got the end of one coil, might go to the start of another, and then the end of one coil is you got a green and a black. It's going to be a start and your finish. One's going to be earth, one's going to be life. Well, it's the way it works. Quite simple. But the thing is, these wires mean different things on different guitars, and Gibson's no different. Now the thing is, you think, well, where's the problem with that? Go and get a key code, find out what the red wire does on there to what the red wire does on a Gibson, and wire them accordingly. You might be putting the green to the red and the black to the white or whatever. And the earth always goes to earth. That's pretty simple and straightforward. And you think, yeah, that's a great idea, let's do that. And that's what we normally do. And it is really quite simple. Say if a green wire is hot on a Gibson, but red wire is hot on a Seymour Duncan, you replace the red with the green or green with the red or whatever. Really simple. But, so I've done that before, done it many times. We stick in a pickup, we'll find out what wire does what and wire it accordingly. But, why this video? Well, you see, Gibson, we're now doing a push-pull plug-in type affair, and the pickup I need to replace the bridge one. It's got a 5-point adapter on there with wires going onto the adapter. So what I've got to do is I've got to cut this off the pickup, and I've got to wire this to that pickup. Now again, you think pretty simple. No, it isn't, because a green wire on here does different to a green wire on there. So what I've got to do is I've got to match up what does what. But the thing is, for instance, let me explain a little bit more, a little bit deeper. I can't just snip all wires and solder them all to these wires, even if I've got a colour code, because I need to stagger them. Otherwise you're going to get that bit is going to be touching that bit, they're going to short each other out. Or each individual wire, I've got to put some heat shrink wrap on there, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bare the wires on there, I'm going to cut the plug off there, and I'm going to wire the plug to this pickup, making sure I get the colour codes right to make this pickup work properly. Now this really, it's not so much a one-way system, but it is kind of a one-way system. You've got one go at this, you don't want to be messing it up, because then you've got to unsolder everything and redo it all again. And with each shrink wrap on there, you've got to cut all that off, and each time you do it, you're going to be making the wires shorter. So I'm going to go and get my colour codes, I'm going to do that. But the thing is, with doing what I'm going to do, it's going to take twice as long as it normally would. I'd normally expect pickup change, Straight pickup swap, half hour. You look at, you got to take strings off, take all the bits off, wire it in, put it back together, blah 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 blah. And it's why I charge 20 quid for one pickup. You see, you want one pickup change in it, I'll charge you 20 quid. Now if you've got a Floyd Rose in that, I've got to set up your Floyd Rose, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but that aside, we're not going to talk about that. But because I've got to do all this bloody soldering, I've had a word with Jamie, and he says, look, it don't matter what it costs if you have to charge me more, just charge me for your time, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be cracking on with that in a minute. When I've got the colour codes and everything done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to start snipping wires. I'm going to start soldering the plug to this. And I'm going to do it a bit of, as, because I'm learning myself, but I'm going to do it as an instructional video for other people out there, because other people will be having the same problem. The only problem with doing an instructional video down here, I've got no computer down here no more. My hard drive seized up, packed in. I managed to get data off it, but I don't trust the hard drive enough, so I've got no computer down here, so I've got to keep nipping upstairs to the computer upstairs and getting information. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to get it all written down, everything I need to do, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through it little by little, so we're going to explain everything as we do it. So let me crack on with that, go and get the information I need, and we'll cut that pickup out. The other thing I don't want to do with the pickup, I don't want to cut the lead too short on this, because this pickup's usable and sellable, this Gibson one. And I don't believe in a short wire on it. I want to leave as much length on it as I can, otherwise someone else has got to extend that later. So let me crack on, go and see what I've got to do, and I'll come back with an update shortly. Right, back with Jamie's SG, and I've gone and got a colour code. Well, I went and looked at the colour codes on Gibson pickups and Seymour Duncan pickups. I've written it all down here, and what I'm going to do is I've cut off the end of the pickup connector, as you can see there, and I've flared all the wires. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the actual pickup to this connector. Now the key I'm using is, you've got to get this right, the hot wire on the Gibson is red, but the hot wire on the Seymour Duncan is black, so I'm going to join this one to the black wire. And the white wire on the Gibson, or the north finish wire, is white on the Gibson and white on the Seymour Duncan, so white to white. Then we look for the south finish coil on the Gibson, which is green, but on the Seymour Duncan it's red, so the Gibson green goes to the Gibson red. The ground wire on the Gibson is black. The ground wire on the Seymour Duncan is green, so the Gibson green black goes to the Seymour green, and bare goes to bare. Now you can see here I put some shrink wrap tubing on the bottom of here. I'm going to explain why. Well, I'm going to explain why right now. What this is going to do is, when these are all joined together, now each individual colour is going to be, you're going to have some heat shrink on there, and we're going to move it up when it's joined, and we're going to seal. But when it comes to sealing the bare wire, this won't be wide enough to go over all of the solder. So all I'm going to do is I'm also going to put some of this on the bare, and we can seal the centre, and when it comes to the edges we're going to do the whole lot with this thick piece of tubing at the base, and this will do all the base. It'll still cover the base of this wire here, so we'll have no wires touching each other. So that's how I'm going to wire it. I'm going to crack on it. I've got my soldering iron heating up at the moment. I'm just going to clean the tip. This is a Circuit Specialist International 75 watt soldering station. Really good piece of kit. I might as well show you. I'm cleaning up the tip now. Just going to get some solder on there in a second. I'm just going to clear the tip and re-tin it. I've got some tinning solution here. Absolutely brilliant. That's re-tinned. It's getting hot. Absolutely fine. I'll turn the camera around so you can just see it. There it is. There's my soldering station. Great piece of kit. I think it only cost about 65 British pounds. Really good piece of kit. It's got digital readout. You've got preset temperatures, 420, 300, down to 100. I set it to 300 for this kind of job. So that's it. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get my helping hands out. Going to get my helping hands out, help me with these wires. I'm going to get all these wires soldered, do it nice and clean, and I'll come back once it's all wired in and we'll get it all back. We'll get the guitar all put back together. Right, back with the SG. You'll see now that I've wired all the wires together. Got the colours all right. As I say, on the Gibsons, I'll do the Gibson first, followed by the Seymour. So the Gibson Hot is Gibson Red to Seymour Black. Then we go white to white, Gibson Green to Seymour Red, Gibson Black to Seymour Green. Then the bare ground is bare ground. Again, the black Gibson to green Seymour is also ground. And what we're going to do is now, we've shrink wrapped them all, heat shrink wrap, and what we're going to do now is we're going to, where the bare wires are still bare, we're going to bring this in and over. We're going to twist all this in, so I hope you can see this. We're going to bring it all together. I've just done this off camera. I've just undone it again just to show you on camera, and now of course it's not going to go right. We'll get it in, don't worry. And there you go, we're going to bring it all together there. We're going to bring this piece, we're going to slide it along. Basically we're going to hide everything. Everything's going to be sealed, tight. We're going to get some heat on there. And there you go. We've got it all joined up. We've got two wires joined, and now we're just going to, this is called shrink wrap wire, and we're just going to shrink it to fit everywhere. We're going to go all the way around. Just put heat on there, it shrinks to the connections, or shrinks to fit the wire. We're going to do the same here. As you can see, it's shrinking as I do it. We're all the way. We're going to get it all nice and neat. And that's all shrunk to fit. Same with this end. I've got a tune banging around my head. It's been banging around my head for the last half hour. It's all along the Watchtower with Jimi Hendrix. It's a good tune to have banging around your head, that, isn't it? So there you go. And that is, we've now converted a Gibson wiring loom to a Seymour Duncan pickup. We've sealed everything off. It's all nice and neat. I think you can see there. I'm really pleased with how that's gone. Absolutely beautiful job. And that is now ready to be plugged in, which I'm going to do right now. And then we just need to tidy the wires. We're going to test the wires out of the guitar. What? I know it's going to work fine anyway. Just need to get this plugged in. Aha, plug it in the right way, eh? Right, it's just plugged in. There you go. Now all we need to do is to route these wires inside to make sure we're not. There you go. That's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'll just lift the guitar up slightly. There's the connection I've done. Zoom back out. There you go. That's the connection I've made. All the wires wrapped up. That's going to sit in the guitar nice there. Get the cover back on. That's going to be absolutely fine. So no harm done there. Took a bit longer than well, it takes a while, but no harm done. It's all in there, it's all wired, and I'm going to get the guitar back together and I'll come back with an update shortly. So here we go, the SG, it's all done. Strung it back up into E flat as he likes it tuned into. I've had a play on it, sounds absolutely brilliant. It sounds brutal, but it would do. It's got a Seymour Duncan Invader in there. I've got a Seymour Duncan Invader, a custom shop one, in my Kramer, and it sounds amazing. Sounds really, really good. Nice light guitar, these. Never really been into SGs, but quite like this. I've had a good play on it. Neck's nice and wide. Feels good. Just something I want to do before I wrap this video up is I want to show the colour codes for Gibson versus Seymour Duncan. And I'll hold it to the screen so you can pause it and you can see what colour goes where. This is a Gibson side, that's a Gibson coloured wires, and this is Seymour Duncan coloured wires, what you need to change them to. Really quite a simple procedure that was, not a, you know, not really a headache, a bit fiddly. Just going to wiping this guitar over. A little bit fiddly, but you know, nothing out of the ordinary. Nice and compact in there now. We had to route it all round to make it all nice and neat in there, but it's all done now. Guitar's ready to go. I've rung him up, let him know it's all ready. He says, oh, can I still collect it Thursday? I said, you can collect it today if you want to. So there you go, today being Tuesday, so he's coming to fetch it in a bit. He's cock a hoop, as he will be. Put his Gibson pickup back in his case, which will be taken away with him. I'm going to get us back in his case now, it's all ready to go, that's it. So, as always, till the next project, be good to each other, and I'll talk to you soon.